we refocus now on the ongoing war, Russia and Ukraine, as a massive wave of Russian missiles have hit Ukrainian cities throughout the New Year's weekend. Now, several explosions rocking the capital. At least one death reported amidst the significant damage. Now, this just 2 days after Russia carried out one of the largest series of airstrikes since the war even began. It's a grim holiday moment. But Russia has been targeting Ukraine's energy sector in the past few months, destroying power stations and plunging millions there into darkness during the country's freezing winter, very freezing winter. And we're joined by Ksenia Svetlova, senior non-resident fellow of the Atlantic Council, joining us from within Israel. Thanks for being with us. Clearly no respite from the Russian onslaught during the holidays here, yet it appears that Ukrainians have had some high spirits, at least on display lately. I mean, doing their best to celebrate the holiday season, survive, pushing back even against Russia on the battlefield. And we saw a lot of tributes in places like London, lighting up with blue and yellow at New Year's here. I mean, what's your read on that critical element of the spirit to survive, to keep fighting as we enter 2023?
Yes, absolutely, David. It was quite clear also from the speech of Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, who addressed his people and said that his only wish for this holiday season, for the New Year's, it's the victory of the Ukrainian people. And again, for him to stay where he is for long 10 months, leaving his country just for 2 days, as we recall, to visit the United States and to talk in front of the Congress, but otherwise being with his people all the time. To Ukrainians that I had a chance to talk and to congratulate them with the New Year's during this weekend, for them it was extremely important. This is something that is indeed encouraging because they believe in him. They believe in their army. Wow. There is the highest, I think, approval rate of the president and of the whole state apparatus since the day that the independent Ukraine was launched back in 1991. Wow. So this is indeed a mix of fear. The Russian attack on the New Year's Day was indeed expected because Russia had pounded Ukrainian on every important occasion and every important day so far. The National Day, Christmas Eve, every day that had some importance, some meaning, some festivity was used in order to pound more the Ukrainian infrastructure, the houses of the regular Ukrainians, the hotels, as it was done yesterday. And still, Ukraine denies. It says that it will not be defeated. It will not be. The spirit cannot be defeated. So the Ukrainians start another year of this very long war with no solution in sight, but with hope and trust in their leadership, which is much more that we can say about Russian people.
It's a good point leading me to my next point for sure, that critical element of faith in leadership, faith in those people in charge. It means so much in a state of conflict. Absolutely. That juxtaposition you touch on here in Russia. Here's President Putin, not appearing before the press annually as he usually does to take general questions and delivering his Novy God, his New Year's message here in front of Russian army soldiers. I mean, what appears to be that message coming from Putin right now?
Well, it was indeed a very mixed up message. It was a mixed bag because on one hand, Putin was talking about the achievements of the last year, 2022. What achievements for the Russians who are sitting in front of their TV sets with the prices rising, with the shortage of some details for automobiles, for car repairs, some ingredients that are missing right now. For them, it doesn't seem so much as a victory. And still, while the support of the war is quite high, officially, from the official records, it seems that also the support of peaceful negotiation is still also, it's on the rise as well. So another important point about the soldiers, the combat soldiers that Putin was surrounded by. There is at least one person there, the blonde woman on his left, when we are looking at his image. Apparently, this woman was identified by international and Ukrainian bloggers as somebody who appeared next to him in different occasions, being disguised as a soldier or as a civilian during the last year or so. So it's clearly being a statist and not a combat soldier as she pretends to be. So a leader of a country that is being now secluded by the world, isolated by the Western world for sure, but also by many countries also around the globe that are not part of the Western world, surrounded by unidentified men who might be soldiers, who might be not soldiers, talking about achievements and talking about defending the motherland, while we remember every second that it was Russia that invaded Ukraine, not vice versa.
Yeah, fascinating. I've seen those, posts about the choreographed scenes around Putin here, and this woman in particular, yes, wearing various costumes, shall we say, in different places. So raising a lot of questions about just what is happening around him. On the winter hardships here, they're hitting Ukraine. I mean, energy is so in focus right now. Truly an energy siege, from Russia here. Is it being mitigated by Western allies on Ukraine somehow? I mean, how's Ukraine faring right now as winter is settling in for months to come right now? Energy scarce. Is that a real crisis?
It is indeed a real crisis. And during the last 2 weeks, almost 40% of the Ukrainians did not have an access to electricity or hot water, did not have light in their houses. And while this percentage, of course, changes because the Ukrainians are battling with the shortage of energy, they are repairing the damaged infrastructure. The other countries, for example, United Arab Emirates delivered 2,500 generators for the private houses that enable the Ukrainians to have an access for hours, 6, 7, 8 hours, which are crucial hours, can be, for example, in the middle of the night when there is no electricity. But you are right, the crisis is still there. There are no easy fixes for this one, unfortunately, because when they stop repairing, in the one part of the country, then immediately another strike comes. It seems that the Russians know what they're doing in this regard, and the Ukrainians are just praying for warmer weather and for the winter to pass soon, to somehow survive until March or so, when the winter becomes to be more warm in this part of the world.
So intense, and all while the specter of some sort of greater general mobilization in Russia is looming again about what may be yet to come here. Thank you so much for summing up the situation here for us, Ksenia Svetlova. Fascinating as always. Thanks for being with us.